Kamala. It's Kamala, right? Got it. So, Camelia, you are now the Democratic presumptive nominee. But you're also one of, if not the most unpopular Democratic politicians in modern memory. I'd like to discuss your recent polling numbers.
Don't.
Got it. Now, what are your intentions, and do you and the Democrats have a plan to beat Donald Trump in November?
We have absolutely no intention, nor do we have any plans.
Okay, so your political career started when you were 29 years old, when you were having an affair with 60-year-old mayor of San Francisco, Willie Brown, who was married at the time. Do you recall this relationship?
I do.
You do?
I do.
So you're not even denying it?
It's no secret.
Let's stay here for a second. Body count. I'm personally at 200 lifetime, give or take. Where are you at?
I've lost count.
Give me ballpark.
By most estimates, at least 1,400.
Damn! 1,400? Are you God, did you hear that? 1,400? Chameleon, with all due respect, people have a word for women that act in this manner, and that word is floozy.
One word. Pretty straightforward.
Last question. By my calculations, you are the first woman to literally sleep her way to the White House. What does your mother think about this?
She would say, Kamala, you may be the first to do many things. Make sure you're not the last.
This is crazy.
This is a democracy.
The North American cackling dingus is among the most intelligent of all the Democrat species. Interestingly, the cackling dingus has evolved within the swamps of our nation's filthy capital to forego traditional traits such as skill or intelligence. Instead, it thrives on its diversity. This particular dingus has remarkably ascended the ranks of the scrotum poll in Washington, despite its dodo bird-like personality.
Knocking on that door and practicing how to do it.
Despite her so-called room temperature IQ, the cackling dingus may astonishingly transcend the ranks of swamp creatures and emerge as the leader of the free world. Not through the traditional electoral process, but rather by sheer attrition, this diversity hire could find herself in the highest office globally. It is truly remarkable that a woman who, as the saying goes, couldn't pour water out of a shoe, even if the instructions were on the heel, might one day be entrusted with the nuclear football.
Welcome to the Super Gringo podcast. Guess what we're talking about tonight? That's right, the cackling dingus and her followers. Well, I'm not even going to call them followers because they weren't really given a choice, were they? They just, for the sake of democracy, pretty much said, fuck democracy. Woohoo. I have a lot to go through, a lot of videos, a lot of holy shit. Just holy shit, yeah, holy shit. That just came out, but yeah, it seems to fit the situation. Hold on, gotta wet my whistle. If you don't have a beer or a adult beverage, I would recommend you go get one because holy shit, this woman is stupid. However, let's start off with, I'm tired of hearing this one, which is one of the new looney leftist arguing or talking points. I would prefer a DA over a convicted felon. Well, thank you for reminding me at how corrupt you assholes are, but I will see your DA and raise you an attorney general / governor. Isn't this guy one of yours?
There's nobody in New York who likes Trump. And still, 66% said the justice system is politicized.
Let's continue with Andrew Cuomo, because he not only was hitting the Democrats on the sanctuary cities, but then here he started going after Joe Biden himself, which, again, whether you think Andrew Cuomo should be dealt back in or not or anything else, it's like it's interesting to see someone who considers himself a Democrat still realize that, holy shit, it's my party, it's my people who have ruined basically everything.
The trials in New York, you had Florida, Georgia, and 2 in New York. The two trials in New York, New Yorkers said, 66% said the justice system is politicized. And
The banks
nobody in New
testified,
York
the
who likes
supposed
Trump. And
victims
still,
testified on the
66%
behalf of the
said,
defense.
the justice system is
Duh.
politicized. That's why I think he's not paying the same price for these verdicts, because they believe it is political. And you want to talk about a threat to democracy. When you have this country believing you're playing politics with the justice system, and you're trying to put people in jail or convict them for political reasons, then we have a real problem.
Well, and I saw two stories in the paper today about the election. One is that Biden is slightly pulled ahead, although not in the states where it can
Not
matter,
anymore.
but nationally, which was news to me. And then the second one was fundraising. The trial in New York, the one he got convicted for, was the greatest fundraising bonanza ever. He was lagging behind Biden, and now he's quite a bit ahead. That trial was the greatest reason people had to send their checks for $5, $10, $25, whatever dollars to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, it's a Hobson's choice always with him, because he's always guilty.
Yeah.
It's not like he's not guilty of any of these crimes.
But the banks testified on his
repercussions
behalf,
might be
so
worse.
yes,
I mean,
no,
this is
he was
something
not guilty.
Politicians always had to face. Remember when Obama came to office, they were like, how can you not put those people in jail, those Wall Street people? And Obama was like, yeah, that would feel good, and it is the right thing to do, but it's also more the wrong thing to do, because it'll tank the whole economy. Those are the kind of tough decisions that you have to make. So I was always with you on the one in New York, the hush money trial. I don't think they should have brought that one. It was just always going to look like a sex case, and people were always just going to look at it that way. So anyway.
That case, the Attorney General's case in New York, frankly, should have never been brought. And if his name was not Donald Trump, and if he wasn't running for president, I'm the former AG in New York, I'm telling you.
Again, looney leftist, isn't this one of your guys?
And that's what is offensive to people. And it should be, because if there's anything left, it's belief in the justice system.
Yeah, and they've blown apart belief in the justice system. It's also interesting, it's worth noting, he said it right there, he was the former Attorney General of New York before he was the governor of New York. This trial would not have been brought. Everyone now believes that the Biden Justice Department is going after Trump to make sure that he cannot be president or has to be in jail. We will literally find that out on July 11th. And again,
That July 11th thing didn't happen, did it?
So see, it's interesting, because on one hand, I want to give him credit. Okay, I'm a Democrat. I'm not a complete maniac, right? Like, I'm not an utter psychopath like AOC and Jamal Bowman. So there's some credit that you deserve. But on the other hand, it's like, dude, the country you want to live in, unless you guys start voting for the people who have the other letter next to their name, not the letter that you have next to your name or the people you're always voting for, you are going to continue to destroy this country. Stay right there, people.
No shit, people. Stop looking at letters. Start fucking thinking. Then again, the people I'm talking to are fucking can't tell you what gender they are, so obviously thinking is strange to them. However, not only can I trump you with a former attorney general, I can trump you with a judge. I don't know, is a judge higher than an attorney general? I don't know. I'd have to look that up, but I'm not really in the mood to do that right now. But can a judge beat an attorney? This judge can, because I think you know her, and you know damn well she has some frickin' common sense.
Is that the justice system working, or is it the justice system being manipulated?
I would be happier, as someone who owns property in Manhattan, if the district attorney of New York County would take care of criminals who are making it impossible for citizens to walk.
By the way, Mr. Penny still has a murder charge against him because they let an idiot out 40 fucking times.
Spend $5 million or $10 million of taxpayers' money trying Donald Trump on this nonsense. But I, as a taxpayer in this country, resent using the system for your own personal self-aggrandizement.
And that's what you think the DA did in Manhattan?
That's what I think. I mean, if you look, you had to twist yourself into a pretzel to figure out what the crime was. He doesn't like them. New York City didn't like him for a while.
Trump.
Trump.
What do you think of Donald Trump?
What do I think of him? I think he was a good businessman, a real estate guy, and he was certainly terrific on The Apprentice.
She is not a Trump fan. She's also not a Biden fan. However, I should have put that video in here, but I didn't. She actually said, if you're going to vote for Biden or Trump, hold your nose and pick the best one. She didn't say who she voted for, but I believe it would be Trump, because even she knows capitalism is better than communism. And then they always bring up that the cackling dingus was a DA. Yeah, and if people actually charged her for what she did while she was a DA, she'd be a felon too.
There's some shit that she did, imprisoning people and keeping them in prison to use them to fight wildfires and shit.
Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record. I'm deeply concerned about this record. She put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology.
Yes, if they ever looked into her record, she might be a felon too, because I believe that would be a violation of people's civil rights. Well, now a word from our sponsor. Me!
As habilidades de tiro diminuíram em todo o mundo. Período. As armas estão melhorando, mas as pessoas por trás delas estão piorando. Muito pior. Você pode ter o melhor rifle do mundo, mas se você não sabe como atirar, qual é o ponto? Este livro mostra a ciência e a arte do tiro de longo alcance. Sim, é uma combinação dos dois. Da mecânica corporal a algo tão simples como o alívio dos olhos. Tudo pode importar quando se trata desses tiros no escuro. Este livro tenta explicar todos eles e prepará-lo para esses tiros no escuro. Este livro é uma leitura obrigatória para iniciantes, atiradores experientes, colecionadores de rifles, armeiros, organizações de pesquisa tática. Este livro contém seções sobre segurança, zerando seu escopo, posições de tiro estáveis, tipos de posições de tiro, suportes de expediente de campo, usando retículo de pontos 1000, minuto de ângulo, lendo e compensando o vento, tiro em ângulos, o cartão de alcance, variação de 1000 pontos, balística, alvos em movimento, líder de computação, alinhamento de mira e mira, e fórmulas de conversão de intervalo.
So yeah, that's one of my books in Portuguese, where they're not in Brazilian Portuguese, where they're not allowed to own firearms. But some people do. I guess they could under Bolsonaro, but you had to keep them at a range. So, and their police here are like military, and then the local police are basically security guards. They're not even allowed to carry guns. They have tasers though, like they look like guns, but they give you a locked electrical charge. I wouldn't want to be hit with either, but of course the police can't fucking shoot here. So maybe I should sell my books to them, because they were chasing a serial killer, and when they found him in someone's house, they literally like destroyed the fucking house. It was like combat, not like arresting somebody, and there was a picture. I think I used it. He had like hundreds of bullet holes, and 7.62 by 51. They use fan fails here. So yeah, but anyway, I started a Facebook page just for the cackling dingus. So to get the word out there, say no to the cackling dingus. And here it is, my Facebook page, say no to the cackling dingus. And I still notice nobody's in here because, well, I'm not a likable person, which gives me freedom. People don't understand this. It gives me freedom. Even the people on the right don't like me because I tell them they're fucking idiots because they let the left do the shit they do. You may not like hearing that, but it is the truth. Like grooming and castrating your kids in fucking school. Really? You good with that? It's acting up on me with the mouse. I can get it. Hopefully I can get it to work now. Okay, this is the live stream I'm doing right now about the cackling dingus. Oh, here's the good guy. I like this guy, former Special Forces. I think he was in the Virginia Senate or something like that. Anyway, very intelligent, better spoken than I am. Didn't drop a single F-bomb.
I don't know if you guys have heard the new talking points coming out of the Harris campaign and the Democrats with respect to J.D. Vance, but apparently we're supposed to demand that he be taken off the ticket because he's, quote, weird. And you know what? They've got a point. I mean, look at this guy. All happily married with kids. I bet he doesn't trans any of them. Nope. All Democrats were asking for was somebody, normal. Right? The guy that's maybe occasionally been led around by a dog leash at a BDSM parade in San Francisco. Right? The sort of salt of the earth, grounded individual who occasionally gets dressed up in drag and reads to other people's children. Right? And it doesn't stop with that. Right? It's going to affect policy. You let J.D. Vance anywhere near the executive branch, and I can guarantee you this much, we will no longer get level-headed senior policy directors who occasionally get arrested for stealing women's luggage at the airport. All Democrats asked for was normal, and we gave them this freak show. Our bad.
Yeah, our bad. No, our bad is that we haven't started punching you in the face yet. Oh, wait a minute. Our bad is letting you get away with the shit you get away with. Hey, Republicans, Sniffy Joe should have already been in prison by now from the shit I've seen with the bank records and all the other shit. Oh yeah, J.D. Vance is weird. Yeah, another one, yeah. Actually, I think I have Dave Rubin covering this stuff too.
39-year-old family man, straight, heterosexual, got a wife and kids.
Which is funny because Dave Rubin is gay and he's a Republican now.
Republicans, weird. Well, once that meme got out there, we now live in a time of meme wars. So then the people on the right were like, wait a minute, they think we're weird? Do you think we could illustrate the fact that they're actually the weird ones? I think we have a little roll. We can call this a roll of tweets here. Here's tweet number 1. Are we the weird ones? And there's the, I guess that was the trans Smurf.
I'm still trying to figure out what a nutsack has to do with a 100-meter dash.
Right there. That is... Yes, J.D. Vance is weird and look at the Smurf. I'm not going to explain all of these. We're just going to roll through them right here. If you're listening on the audio podcast, trust me, we're showing you a trans somebody there, and then there's that guy who had his wang chopped off and the woman holding her boobs, and okay, no, next, J.D. Vance is weird, and here's a bunch of people who look like they're characters from Wizard of Oz, something to do with LGBT health. There's a man who's a woman who's a man with some dogs who is also in charge of nuclear waste. We got another one. That's some sort of demon talking to children. Here's a man in a man. After move, go. Okay, whatever. Here's Andrew Yang force feeding someone whipped cream, but okay, we're the weird ones. Here's Chuck Schumer trying to make a cheeseburger, which this is actually disgusting. I don't want to look at that picture anymore. And here they are dancing. Here, yes, we're weird. Here they are dancing during COVID. And yes, we are the weird people. I think we have two more, if I'm not mistaken. Here's Joe Biden sniffing small children repeatedly. One of them looks like an adult woman. And here's just sort of the stereotypical leftist at the computer. But yes, J.D. Vance, and we are weird.
Dave Rubin used to be a liberal, what I call a classic liberal, where we actually share ideas like free speech. He was one of those guys, like the Berkeley and Brown University free speech movement. Yeah, we agree, 100% free speech. He's also gay and has a husband. Don't know about it because it's not his identity. But even he thinks you people are like the loony left. I don't call him liberals because he's a liberal. He really is still a liberal. He just more in line with the right now. We're centrists, really. Like fucking common sense. Use it. Like, holy shit. People. What else do I have on this page? I put in a lot of stuff, so. I'm trying to figure. I can't remember all the videos. I have like hundreds of videos.
Man, this woman's crazy as hell. Watch this.
A mother who pays a coyote to transport her child through their country of origin, through the entire country of Mexico, facing unknown peril to come here. Why would that mother do that? I will tell you. Because she has decided for that child to remain where they are
on an EBT card.
But what does Donald Trump do? He says, go back to where you came from. That is not reflective of our America and our values, and it's got to end.
To be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border, do not come. Do not come. And I believe if you come to our border, you will be turned back.
Shoot me a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys down the road. Thanks.
We have a brand new victim. And honestly, she's a radical left lunatic, and she
makes Joe Biden look conservative.
All I have to say is defund the police. That was her big thing. Let's defund the police.
Now, think about that. This whole movement is about rightly saying we need to take a look at these budgets and figure out whether it reflects the right priority. For too long, the status quo thinking has been you get more safety by putting more cops on the street. Well, that's wrong.
I said, what? She said, yeah. I said, no.
You get more safety by putting more cops on the street. Well, that's wrong.
Defund the police. That was her big thing. Let's defund the police.
We did it. We did it, Joe.
Yes, these are, of course, they didn't actually vote for her. They're just like anointing her. Oh yeah, she got fact checked, and yeah, she was wrong. Oh yeah, this is a good.
This guy is trying to convince you that J.D. Vance is weird.
Yeah. I guess he's one of the.
This guy is trying to convince you that J.D. Vance is weird.
I guess he's one of them they're looking at for vice president.
This guy is trying to convince you that J.D. Vance is weird.
So yeah, this is
strong, inspiring example of what a side chick and gold digger can become.
At least it's not Trump. The fucking world's on fire, folks. And you loony leftists, it's all your fault. You must shop somewhere else than I do. Or, well, I live in Brazil, so you're fucking up this country too, by the way. Well, your policies, communist policies. We have communism here. The president in Brazil is a communist. That's what you want in America. Come to Brazil and see what it looks like. And then go, fuck. Maybe you'll go, yeah, I'm kind of stupid. It would be great if it worked that way, but no, you never figure out you're stupid. You can't even figure out what gender you are by looking down your fucking underwear. Huh. But anyway, I don't care if he's gay or not, he's a fucking idiot. Gay and stupid. Let me explain something. Sexual orientation doesn't have anything to do with being stupid. Neither does actually skin color or anything else. You're just fucking stupid. Now you can thank the people of Brazil and its horrible 79th ranked education system. I love Brazil. I love the people. Most of the people. Don't love everybody, but I don't love everybody in the U.S. either. Stupid doesn't have a nationality. But, and I can't vote in their election, so I'm fucked there. So I can vote in yours, though. I'm an American, so I get to vote in yours. Absentee ballot, already got it. Go Trump. But they're already starting to lie for the cackling dingus. The mainstream media, CBS, tried to fact check Trump on the cackling dingus, and then Elon Musk fact checked CBS, and I guess the cackling dingus probably should have took this down from her X account before, you know.
Poor hubby.
Now, Jeremy, if you knew the history of Brazil, which the CIA did have hold on. The CIA did have a hand in the 60s of changing the government in Brazil to a military junta. And then in the 80s, it changed to a democracy, a real democracy where a majority rules. And when the majority wants government benefits and, you know, universal health care, which, by the way, sucks, by the way, just so everybody. So when you hear a loony leftist say universal health care, punch them in the face for me, personally. Yes, in the 50s and 60s, they had something to do with it. Now it's strictly all on the Brazilians, period. It's all their fault. America's government didn't have anything to do with what's going on in Brazil right now. I live here. Even my wife freaks the fuck out about Lula. Holy shit. What an idiot. The guy couldn't read till he was a teenager and you're going to make him a fucking president? Are you fucking kidding me? Anyway. But America's going the same way. And you're supposed to be more educated than Brazilians. You're supposed to be able to think critically because you went to oh, wait a minute. Our schools don't make critical thinkers anymore. They make assholes who are confused about their gender and think everything is fucking racist. No. You know what? You know the one thing that is not racist? Stupid. Stupid doesn't have a fucking race. If you're stupid, you're just fucking stupid. And because there are more white people in the world, there are more stupid people. Huh. Weird. But then the polls are showing, oh, Kamala Harris, the delegate who ran for president who couldn't even get 1% of the votes, the lowest ranked vice president in history, is somehow in the lead. I don't. Let me explain something about polls. They tell people what to think, not what they're thinking. they're manipulated by who you call. I could call, if I know 100 Trump supporters, I could call them all and go, yeah, I love Trump. And it would make Trump look like he's winning by a landslide. These people have the voter rolls, folks. They know what they're doing. They're trying to get you to, oh, there's no way Trump can win. Why should you show up at the polls? Because they're lying. They're only calling people they know are going to say what they want to say. That way they can't be sued for defamation, but you get it.
Story comes out about Kamala Harris is having the best week of where's that story at? Where her popularity, Harris,
polling bounce,
yeah,
big
the
week.
polling bounce.
Some
that she
people,
had, not bouncing on the polls, just like polling
some
bounce that
people
she had
don't
where
want
it's a increase. My English is always off a little bit here and there. So Kamala Harris's popularity
adjectives
reaches
before nouns.
record high. Rob, can you play the clip I just sent to you? Rob, play the clip I just sent to you because they're telling us she's the greatest of all time and how amazing of a VP was. And this is mainstream media pre.
Yeah,
her
watch
being
this
the presidential
and then
candidate. Go
listen
ahead,
to
Rob.
what's being said
Reports
now.
to say that you have the lowest approval rating of any vice president. Well, there are polls that also say I have great approval ratings.
Swing voters don't like Harris. How big a drag is Kamala Harris?
The cackling dingus.
She's a pretty big drag. I think she was arguably Biden's worst political decision.
They don't like her. There's lots of reasons they don't like her.
Kamala Harris's approval rating is now at 28%, which is an historic low for any modern vice president.
We're hearing it from mainstream media, one outlet after another, one leak after another. That Kamala Harris is the worst vice president ever, the worst politician ever.
We don't see the vice president. What people are saying to me, and I'm sure they're saying it to you, where's the vice president? Some White House officials are feeling that she came off looking unprepared for inevitable questions about when she might visit the southern border.
We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
She still hasn't been to the border.
I understand the point that you're
I think she
making.
might have been to Europe,
Lester
though.
Holt was making was obvious to anyone else who was watching this interview, which is that the issues at the border are inextricably linked with the portfolio that she's been given.
The border is secure. We have a secure border.
Bidenomics is working. Prices have gone up. And families and individuals are dealing with the realities of.
There are reports that say that you have the lowest.
But by the way, did you see the video of what she said, Rob? I don't know if you guys saw this or not. What she said yesterday. She said, Trump's the reason the border is problematic, but if you vote for me, I will fix the border.
She didn't say that.
Are you guys joking? You didn't see this?
No.
Tell me you're joking. Hang on.
Carrying water.
Rob, do me a favor and play this clip. This is what she just said, and let me see exactly when it was. 7:30. 7:30 is what? 2 days ago. She just said this. When you see this clip, your angry patriot side's about to come out.
I
so
think
just
you're
watch it.
I still think you're absolutely.
I'm telling you,
trolling.
watch this.
We're
Go
about
ahead.
to sell some shirts.
Watch this. Hang on. Watch. No, rewind. I want him to hear it. Tom, say nothing, Tom. Just listen. Go ahead.
Donald Trump does not care about border security. He only cares about himself. And when I am president, I will work to actually solve the problem.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with Russia invading.
This is real? Is this real?
Yeah.
So here is my pledge to you. Donald.
She says
it's so absurd. It's so absurd.
Hold on. She's the border czar. You're the emperor of the border.
I know she wasn't. She was not the border czar. She was never the border czar.
Yeah, yes,
the
yeah,
media has been doing that for a week.
I still think, by the way, it's sad that I have to look to make sure this is an AI generated.
Even he was a classic liberal at one time.
Believe that. There's no way you believe that.
How the fuck do you lose this many people?
And the media is carrying water for her. As I keep saying it, and over again. And guess what? What did Hillary do over and over again? pick an issue, accuse the other person of what you're doing, and take credit for the fix.
Wait for it. You're going to like this because he's literally going to.
A long time ago?
Pelosi?
Right here. Watch.
Was it the schmear?
No.
Let him go.
I'm going to show you.
Next time they call you a fucking Nazi.
Said that a long time ago, Rob. Post that quote up there. Post that quote up there. This is, zoom in. Accuse the other side of that which you are guilty. Joseph Goebbels, Nazi propaganda minister.
Oh boy! Wow, so great playbook.
They're saying that the other side, Trump is the reason for messing up the border. And by the way,
they do it with everything too.
How many people will that work on?
Oh, not so many.
No, hear me out. No, hear me out. It's actually very important to ask this question.
It's huge.
The amount of people, like right there, the people that she's talking to, how many people, no matter what she says, will sit there and say she's right? How many people
in that audience? 40, in Atlanta,
42 to 44%. The core.
No. The audience in Atlanta,
85, 90.
I'm going to say even more than that, right? That's going to believe her. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But go to the people who are the audience that the vote matters to. How many of them, of the independents, who are educated people, who have watched what she's done, who are Democrats, will sit there and say, "Oh, listen, honey, we're going to vote for her, but she's so full of shit."
Yeah, I register as
how many people actually sitting there saying, "What's she talking about?" Everybody knows you're the reason why the border sucks. What do you think, Tom?
Well, I tell you, I have facts behind this, not opinion. What's very interesting in the polling bounce, I've been doing research on polling bounce, and in Arizona,
I always tell them, "Don't call me a fascist. I'm not a socialist."
Asking people, what are your top 3 issues? All of them, independent, Democrat, Republican, Arizona, had the same 3 issues in the same order: immigration, economy, women's rights, in the same order. Why? Immigration, number 1. The intensity of the response from all voters in Arizona on immigration was like at an 8 out of 10 on the intensity scale. Why? It's live, living, and it's in their front yard. You don't have to be a Democrat or a Republican to see.
You see, Jeremy, they don't have a platform other than gender, race.
Feel safe in Arizona. You see that? So it's number 1 for
blaming the other party. Literally, that's literally what the Nazis did, isn't it? Race.
Guess what the intensity level was? The intensity
blaming the other side and
3. Why? Because immigrants aren't going around Missouri.
Yeah, what was the third one? I can't even remember what I just said the third one was.
Let's say, and you're a Republican. We're just yelling and screaming at each other. So what has happened? There are places, PBD, where it doesn't matter what she say. If she gave that speech in Arizona, everybody in the audience would say, "Dude, come on, Kamala, the immigration is a huge problem here. You're just talking," and they're not going to believe that. But that's just Arizona. The rest of the places,
I don't want them to represent my interest. I want them to protect the fucking Constitution.
I'll give you a little feedback here.
That's their only job.
In storytelling and in comedy,
and one party seems to try to get around it more than the other.
Works, and it's called the art of the callback. Vinny, you would know this. When you say something up front, and then you do your act, and then you bring up that story back. Oh my God, it came out of nowhere. Now, here's my thing. What's Trump's callback going to be? I'll tell you what it is, and it's so obvious to me. What was the map or the graph that he was showing when he got shot? What was it?
Immigration.
Oh, my God. We can show that, Rob.
Random.
He brought that graph up, at his speech of the RNC. Do you remember that? And he gave look at this map. I love this graph. It's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. That is going to be a common theme.
Exactly, but which party tries to get around it the most?
On the debate stage.
Tell me where you can find the abortion clause in the Constitution.
Here it is right here.
Yeah.
Hey, Kamala.
Look how many graphs are on there.
Hey, Kamala, listen, baby. DEI, MEI, whatever you are.
Yeah.
You are this graph, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the reason I'm doing this graph. You're the borders are. No matter how much the mainstream media is trying to whitewash or blackwash what her job was as the borders
Tell me in the Constitution where there's some special rights for women.
So don't be surprised when Trump busts out this graph the billionth time.
But no, Adam, great point. But what I think the point that
Show
he's
me
trying
in the
to make
Constitution
is
LGBTQ
how many people
rights
that still kind of know this are going to go, I don't care as long as it's not Trump. Because this, by the way, she's running on, I'm not Trump. Anything but Trump. And Rob, speaking of that chart, can you show that video? Is it all right, Pat? The video of the girl Trump yesterday brought up the girl that put up the chart that made him look, and he basically said that it saved his life. And he's like, I love that girl. She's a smart. He called her.
The thing I hate from the right is when they say, the government doesn't care about me. They're not supposed to. They're supposed to support and defend the Constitution. That's it. When the government starts caring about you, they start caring about what you're doing. They start caring about what you're buying. They start caring about what you're doing. Like in New York, you can't buy a Big Gulp anymore. Why? Because the government started caring about what you're doing. You cannot smoke in your own car in New York. Now, is smoking it with your kids in the car good? No. But it's your car, right? Your property. Your rights. See? The government worrying about what you're doing. The government caring about you. That's how you end up taking an experimental vaccine. The government caring about you. I don't want the government to care about me. Do your fucking job. Support and defend the fucking Constitution. That's it. That's your only job. It's not to worry about what the fuck I'm doing. Of course, I live in Brazil, so they have a different constitution. But I think ours works best. If people fucking followed it, which hasn't happened in, I'll bet you, since Reagan.
Like a computer. He goes, she's like, is this it, Rob?
It is. Let me fast forward to where he brings
go
it
ahead.
on stage.
Like he's like, where's that chart? I love that chart. Dude, look at all the people back there.
I love that chart.
What I tell
I'm
you?
going to sleep with that chart for the rest of my life. That chart.
Oh.
You know, the amazing thing, the people that operate the computers and all the brilliant equipment we have backstage. She said to me, she's great. She's great. She should come out. Just tell her to come out here for a second. Quick. You got to get her out. She's never done this before. She saved my life.
I kind of laughed at this one because being in the Army, death by PowerPoint, I'm like, ooh, she can use PowerPoint. She should have been the one to be shot.
One chart saved Donald Trump. He kisses her hair. Kisses her hair.
Didn't stop and sniff. He just gave her a little.
Bring it in for the real thing. Okay, kiss your hair. And then look at.
Hi.
And that's it.
That's it. Support and defend the Constitution. I don't want them to care about me. I'll take care of myself.
She's a genius.
But this
Get
is
out of my
Donald
fucking
Trump
life.
at his best.
I love him.
This is my point of the conversion thing. When he's doing the angry, condescending, the black thing, whatever, he's not winning people over. The chart.
He was another Democrat that crossed over because
bring the girl out, give her
so
a kiss, do that. You will win.
Yeah.
If you're being angry and you're arguing with black journalists, it's not a good look.
Here's
to
my
it.
question, though, Adam. I understand 100% with the chart, but when he's sitting there and they're going there with him, he has to punch back. You know that when they go low, we go high. No. When they go low, you fight fire with fire, and I get it. But he can't bow down to that type of stuff and be like, "Well, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll tell my Republican base never to use DEI." We know she was
I wish I
hired
could contact
exactly
some of
because
these
Biden
Republicans.
has consistently said,
we don't
I
care
hired
what
this
you have
person
to say
because I
just
said I was going to hire a black woman.
You're going to campaign, just say, "I'm going to follow the Constitution to the letter," and you'll win a fucking election.
The Rock Johnson, which you already know. Nick Saban, greatest college football coach of all time. If you say no, it's because you probably don't like the guy, but the guy's won, I think, 7 national championships. This will be one of the first business conferences he's doing since he retired.
Okay, that was, he's going on about something else. But anyway, that's a lot of the, 2 or 3, even I think the host used to be a Democrat. So they fucked up. Of course, not being able to tell what gender you are just by simply looking down your shorts is probably a dead giveaway. You're probably not too mentally stable. Just saying, But anyway, this next guy just tears it the fuck up. I don't even know the show it's on, but it was another podcast. I use a lot of stuff from other podcasts because they get more. Like, I don't sit around and do this like full time like they do. I'm not monetized. I don't make money off this. So I just do it because it pisses off the loony left. As a matter of fact, I shared this link with so many loony leftists tonight, hoping they'd come over and try and challenge me. I actually told a couple, bring 3 or 4 of your friends. That way it would be an equal intellectual battle. But anyway, oh yeah, she showed the corruption when they took out Bernie Sanders, which I'm not a Bernie Sanders fan either. But yeah, they fucking took him out, their own party, which they did again this time. But it's all to defend democracy. But you didn't vote for her, so where's the democracy? Well, Trump's going to be a threat to democracy, but you didn't. You said fuck democracy. But Trump's going to be, the butt Trump card is about getting fucking so old that I want to kick someone in the balls. But anyway, yeah, this guy, I don't even know the show he was on, but holy shit, he went fucking savage mode. And I don't go on shows because I'm unlikable. But being unlikable has its benefits because I get to say whatever the fuck I want. And to quote Bruce Lee, be brave enough to be disliked. Yeah, I must be I should have a Medal of Honor. Anyway, yeah, you got to watch this one.
I can't believe he said that.
Yeah, and then there's the DEI press secretary telling you that the DEI vice president is the future of the party here. And so the future looks kind of dim for the Democrats here, but this is no shocker either. Kamala Harris, she's the original Haktua girl. That's the way she got where she is. Damn! And the party's going downhill if it's in her hands.
That was tough. That was harsh.
Wasn't harsh. It was called telling the truth. That's why people don't like me. I do shit like that all the time, and people don't like me. I don't care if you like me. Don't give a fuck as long as my checks arrive on time. That's it. Other than that, fuck off. You don't have to like me. You don't even have to agree with me. Just make sure my checks are on time, and I won't get pissed off and do what I used to do for a living. That's why the government pays me, so I don't fuck you retards up. They don't pay me because I'm afraid of you. It's the other way around. But now they're trying to say if you call her a DEI hire, which she was, if you remember from the debate, I'm going to hire a black woman. I'm surprised she wasn't a lesbian because that would have just put it over the top. Or a black trans woman. If Trump really wanted to fuck these people up, he should identify as a black trans woman. And then he would be the first black trans woman president. And fucking that would just fucking, yeah. But anyway, they're trying to take away the DEI thing, which they said was a good thing, if you remember correctly, for the last 10 years, thanks to CRT. DEI is a good thing, I guess, except when you're running for president.
Daily Caller. Dem representative says Republicans who call Harris a DEI candidate actually mean the N-word. Rob, if you have this clip,
yeah, they're called
I'll read the next title, which is Joy Reid. We'll play this one as well, where Joy Reid says black people will look weird if they don't back him.
They're not fake electorates. They're alternate electorates, which are picked before the election. They're picked before the election, and so that's how JFK won his presidency, was through alternate electorates in Hawaii. So these people are trying to rewrite fucking history to meet their narrative again. CRT tries to make Democrats not look like the fucking slave owners. Fuck you. I know history. I have time to research thanks to retirement. I will outsmart every last one of you. The loony leftist. I'm talking about the loony left. And I sent them links. You notice ain't none of them here. You want to know why? They know I'm smarter than they are. They knew I was smarter on Facebook when I was whooping their ass. Their biggest comeback is that little smiley face fucking emoji. And then some babbling about what an idiot I am. You can call me an idiot all you want. But you're not coming back with anything. You're just babbling. Maybe if you babble harder. But anyway, I need to go refill my beer mug. If you don't have a cold beverage, you might want to get one because there's a lot of cackling dingus tonight.
Let's first go to the first clip, Rob, and then go to that one. And then the last one I'll add here that said CNN host says GOP using veiled slur against people like Kamala Harris. Again, racial. Play this clip first. Go for it, Rob.
Ridiculous.
This is an organization, this is a right-wing campaign that's going to be racist, misogynistic against the vice president, but we're going to stand on the issues and what really matters. It's the fact that she is qualified. They want to call her a DEI president or DEI candidate. She has more experience than Trump and J.D. Vance combined times a million, right? She worked at the state level. She was the attorney general, vice president of the United States. She was a senator representing one of the largest states in the entire country. And so these are just racist dog whistles. Whenever you hear DEI, I want you to think about the N-word. I want you to think about racial slurs. That's what they actually mean.
Who is this guy? Nobody.
Do you think Congressman Burchett is being a racist when he says that?
Go to Joey Reid. Let's see which one's more ridiculous.
Just so you know, that is Maxwell Frost from Florida, Democrat, but he is the first millennial ever to be elected to Congress.
No wonder
Is this the guy, South Orlando, Orange County?
Yep. Oh, God.
Fantastic.
And Jim Acosta next to him, one of the biggest losers on the planet.
Just spheric.
Sorry, hold on. It's playing at double speed.
It's okay, Rob.
Okay, so
it's okay, Rob. You could do it.
Here's Joy Reid. The mushrooms.
She got rid of. She got rid of the Trump.
Stratospheric.
Big word.
Entrance of Vice President Kamala Harris into the presidential campaign, and she has now secured enough delegates to become the nominee.
I don't know how you do that before the convention.
Real crazy. Being on the other side of that line, particularly as a person of color.
Oof. I'm brown.
But really as anyone who claims to have any connection to the culture. You're going to look real weird and real lonely.
What culture?
On that
prison
side.
culture or what?
The door needs to close behind
I guarantee
Amber.
I know more R&B than you.
And she looked crazy over there.
Okay, you can pause it
But
right here.
shut the door behind her.
Listen, and
Okay,
she's,
Vinny, go for it.
she's failing, and guys, I hate to repeat myself. What can be unburdened by what has been. Okay, guys, so we get the playbook. They have to do this, okay? And we nailed. And Mike is one of my Mike's Jamaican. He goes, she's not African American. She's Indian and Jamaican. And by the way, just a little history report on how black Kamala is. Her great grandfather Hamilton Brown was one of Jamaica's largest slave owner / traders. Okay, he had black slaves, if that's what you want to call it, and sold them. And her little history report, while AG of California, she incarcerated over 1,500 African Americans for minor drug charges and held them past their release date for free county labor. And Tom, I'm pretty sure
that's just the 1,500, my friend.
That's just the 15.
She used the 3 strikes law to decimate a whole generation of African American men.
Yeah. So that's how much she cares about the that's your African American vote. And if you think about it,
that's
if you're
what she thinks
if you're getting all that free labor from all
old
these prisoners,
guys.
the majority of them are African American.
I'm surprised.
Would you call that modern day
Joe.
slavery? So it runs in her family. If you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, wait a minute. Joe likes him young. Like his daughter.
The record's clear, isn't it?
The record's pretty clear. So I mean, and listen, I just hope people stop falling for this democratic tactic of everything's about to be a race. No,
There's
she's
another person in here
Look at her
who hasn't said a word, and I'll tell you why. It's probably a loony leftist.
What has Kamala Harris
doesn't want to get decimated
in her entire career that can come to your head, PBD?
That can come to my head?
Yeah. Name one thing that she's done.
Okay.
And listen, and not what can be unburdened, but what has been. I mean,
we have families that watch the podcast.
What can I
But I would
do
say, what
to,
has she done?
what accomplishment for...
You have
well, I can't show
regardless of
Pornhub
what
here.
it is, for her to find a way to being a VP, whatever you say, there's credit there for being a candidate. Okay, it's not easy in any space to stick around until somebody makes you VP. The contest we announced with Manette, guys, is a contest that's very unique. A lot of you who have big plans of 2024 where you want to do second half of the year, this contest that was announced, effective July 1st, goes till August 31st. The winners of this contest will have a chance to meet Dwayne Johnson and also be invited to be on stage, recognized in front of nearly 10,000 people, where people are going to see you on stage, 10,000 people, your face with your Manette handle for people to be close to you. This is an opportunity for you to network with thousands of people, of them directly knowing who you are, And the way to compete for this is either you're an expert and people ask you questions, or either you compete as a user asking others questions. Right now, in the lightweight category, the leader right now is Bryce Mitchell, UFC fighter. Number 2 is Caleb Altmaier, which Caleb is a pastor, I believe, out of Washington or Portland's got a big mission. He buys strip clubs and builds it into facilities to create rehabs for dancers, which is very interesting what he's doing. For trafficking, yes. And then you have Jose Alvarenga, who is third place for lightweight. Rob, if you can zoom in a little bit. Middleweight, we have right now, as the ranking goes, Samuel Riley, then we have Matten Hakar, and then we have Aaron Borgman at third place. Heavyweight, we have Dennis Panev, then it's Candace Owens, then Dr. Calvin Ing. Home team, Vinny crushing it as usual. And then you have new users, signups. Mark Cook, first place, then it's Ronald Silsky, and then Russell Morgan and existing users, Shaw, Matthew, User Zero, have asked the most questions.
Oh, the Facebook has face checked that and said, no, that's...
We had a client reach out to me the other day, ended up being a $100 million client, business for somebody I refer to. There are people asking questions about homeschooling.
Yeah, according to Facebook, no, they weren't working together. Like it fucking mattered. I don't give a shit if she worked there or not. She was underage. I don't care. He's a pedophile. Oh my God. Oh no, he's all about yeah, he knows Hillary sucks. Grumpy. He knows she sucked, but she did peel back when she was being thrown into vans and shit. When they took out Bernie, I think he might have got a visit to his office, drop out, or else, which I think Biden got the same advice. But, and then, for democracy, we're going to say fuck democracy for democracy because Trump is a fucking threat to democracy. Anyway, for the next 4 months, this is what you're going to hear. For the next 4 months, because she cannot run on her accomplishments. She cannot run on her intelligence. She cannot run on her character. I mean, I'd have more respect for her if she just came out and told the truth. Yeah, I could suck a fucking golf ball through a garden hose. And fuck. I can end this war right now if I got Zelensky and Putin in the fucking room, because they're going to fucking collapse on the floor.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety black, blacker than black, I'm blacker than black, yo, because I'm black and I'm back. Yo, I'm black and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all.
The next 4 months, that's all you're going to hear. Right? Well, she's black, she's a woman. If she were a lesbian or trans, it would put it over the fucking top, right? Because that would she actually makes Joe Biden look like a conservative. Oh, they're in a cult. It's a cult. And you've seen the video. I've made the video listing everything they've done. And I don't think Jeremy understands cult. The looney left cult. And that they will do the same thing over and over and over. And you can actually document it. And I didn't put it in there because it's a long video. It started with 10 and it just exploded. But time for another word from our sponsor, me. A result of 40 years of training and experience, Tactical Training with Firearms was written to meet the needs of the gun owner, the experienced shooter, those who own a weapon strictly for home and self-defense, and for the military member who wants to become a better shooter in defense of our country. It's also for the law enforcement officer who risks his or her life going against the thugs of our society, for anyone interested in learning the defensive and tactical training techniques from some of the best and most experienced shooters in the world. This comprehensive training manual includes chapters on safety, negotiation, verbal force techniques, fundamentals in training, battle drills, Cooper's color code system of mental awareness, legal aspects of self-defense, justification criteria, lethal force, discrimination shooting, ballistics, bio, or how the body works during a life and death encounter, incapacitating an aggressor, speed, stealth, self-defense gun selection, unloading your pistol, weapons malfunctions, force-on-force simulation training safety, the right angle draw stroke, gun ready positions, problems with tactical reload, increased survivability in a gunfight, multiple attackers, night and low light shooting, shooting with tactical lights, fundamentals of close quarter shooting, long gun, close quarter shooting, rapid fire, the quick draw ground technique, shooting drills, tactical shotgun and breaching with the shotgun. The shooting skills taught in this book carry broad application in civilian, law enforcement, and military contexts. Common criminals, terrorists, assailants, the enemy, and threat will find themselves outgunned in the face of a properly armed and trained shooter. Members of the armed services, government, and law enforcement agencies, as well as civilians, will find that the close-range shooting methods addressed in this book can provide a decisive advantage. I still have looney leftists on Facebook that I gave this link to, like posting instead of coming over here, because deep down inside, I think they know I'm smarter than they are, and they just don't want to be it publicly displayed. Like TT, yeah, I sent him the same link. He ain't here, is he? No. Why? He's not that smart, and he knows he's not that smart. But back to what I was the cackling dingus. I don't call her Kamala. I don't call her Vice President. I don't call her. I call her the cackling dingus. Some of you came in late. I might actually play that video. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna play that video again, just so everybody gets why I call her the cackling dingus.
The North American cackling dingus is among the most intelligent of all the Democrat species. Interestingly, the cackling dingus has evolved within the swamps of our nation's filthy capital to forego traditional traits such as skill or intelligence. Instead, it thrives on its diversity. This particular dingus has remarkably ascended the ranks of the scrotum pole in Washington, despite its dodo bird-like personality.
Knocking on that door and practicing how to do it.
Despite her so-called room temperature IQ, the cackling dingus may astonishingly transcend the ranks of swamp creatures and emerge as the leader of the free world. Not through the traditional electoral process, but rather by sheer attrition, this diversity hire could find herself in the highest office globally. It is truly remarkable that a woman who, as the saying goes, couldn't pour water out of a shoe, even if the instructions were on the heel, might one day be entrusted with the nuclear football.
So that's why I call her the cackling dingus. And you're right, Grumpy. They call us a cult, but think about their cult. Their cult believes men can get pregnant. Grooming and castrating kids is good for them, and Sniffy Joe was a good president. Fucking Jim Jones would be in fucking awe.
Now, but maybe the worst and most dishonest thing that Kamala Harris has done, and it is a long list, my friends, is that she helped cover up Joe Biden's declining mental capacity for years. It's actually sad. Putin, Xi, Kim Jong-un, all these dictators They have been sitting in private rooms for 3.5 years, licking their chops because we have a president who can't actually do the job.
Afghanistan just got $85 billion in military equipment.
Or too dishonest to admit it, is not fit to serve as commander-in-chief. She lied to us. She lied to all of us, and it's unacceptable. And you know, they never give President Trump an easy path. Kamala Harris.
That's right. What is it? 6% of the population get 40% of the abortions.
As their new nominee,
as a matter of fact,
receiving a single vote for president. The media, our friends.
To quote Mrs. Singer, or Ms. Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, the Negro is a weed that needs to be eradicated. So, yeah, those are her exact words, by the way. Direct quote. So, yeah, keep doing, yeah. Get off the fucking Democrat plantation, you fucking idiots. Now back to J.D. Vance. You know, the weird guy.
Back there, they call it a coronation. I think there's another word. I call it a coup. In America, we do not crown our leaders. We vote for them. Democrat or Republican, you got to give the voters a choice.
Yep. By the way, just so everybody knows, when I left Afghanistan, we were winning the war.
But if there's one thing we've learned about Kamala Harris, it's that
I'm going to be talking about the Taliban later and Trump versus Biden.
Even for the Democrat Party. Remember, in the 2020 primary, Harris dropped out months before they even cast the first vote. She was so unpopular, she polled in the low single digits among Democrats the entire campaign. She wasn't even the top 3 in her home state of California, and that is pretty embarrassing, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason is because Democrats know that the American people would never elect a San Francisco liberal who's so far outside the mainstream.
15 is birthing age.
Now, we've got to give some credit to our Democrat friends because they were right in 2020. The American people are never going to elect a wacky, out-of-touch San Francisco liberal like Kamala Harris.
She's a communist. Period.
Now.
Oh yeah, they're sending, I think I looked, it was like 25 million to the Taliban.
That's the word she used.
To supposedly fight ISIS.
And it's an interesting word, simplify, loyalty. Because there is no greater sign of disloyalty to this country than what Kamala Harris has done at our southern border. And I'd like to ask the Vice President, what has she done to question my loyalty to this country? I served in the United States Marine Corps. I went to Iraq for this country. I built a business for this country. And my running mate took a bullet for this country. So my question to Kamala Harris is, what the hell have you done to question our loyalty to the United States of America?
Well, I guess she can give a pretty good blowjob.
And the answer, my friends, is nothing. So let's send a message to the media.
Actually,
let's send a message
nothing,
to Kamala Harris. Let's send a message to every hardworking patriot from Minnesota across the country. We are ready to have President Donald J. Trump back, and we're going to work our tails off to make sure it happens. God bless you all. Thank you. And thank you for having me, Minnesota, a great state.
Now, do I trust him? Fuck no, he's a politician. But
let us count the ways in which Kamala Harris has screwed up this country over the last 3.5 years.
After the 3.5 years, anything's
now, they'll all lie to
going
you
to be
about
better.
it, the media, but she was appointed the border czar and then unleashed the worst border crisis in the history of this country. On her watch, more than 10 million illegal aliens have invaded our country. And it wasn't by accident. It was by design. They said
Electoral
when they took
college,
office
and if they can give them amnesty, they can vote.
What they did. They said they wanted to decriminalize illegal immigration and tear down immigration's and customs enforcement. Open up the
Who do you think they're going to vote for, especially when they don't ask for, I guess, voter ID is the only type of ID that is illegal or racist.
That's what she said, and then on her very first office, they went to work, but not for you, for them. They suspended deportations. They stopped building President Trump's wall. They reinstated catch and release, and that's how every state became a border state, because they just released these people into our country. Then they fly them first class, give them first-class hotel accommodations. You guys are paying for that, too.
But she wasn't the border czar because,
aliens. They
well,
might as
they
well
needed
have
to change that narrative because
drawn invitations
Yeah.
to millions of illegal immigrants all over the world, including, by the way, violent criminals and terrorists. The media lies to you about that, but don't let them. Now, the chief there we go. We let one crazy person in out of a crowd of 1,000. That's not too bad, right? Now, what our friend out there doesn't want you to hear, but I'm going to say anyway, is that the chief of Border Patrol was appointed over a year ago. Our own border czar, Kamala Harris, hasn't spoken a single word to him. How does that make sense? Now, I served in the United States Marine Corps, ladies and gentlemen. My brothers and I, you know what we have? You know what we call that? We call that a dereliction of duty. And now she has the nerve to question the loyalty of me and Donald Trump. Did you see that? Well, here's a message to Kamala Harris. Here's what Donald Trump and I believe about loyalty to this country. Loyalty to this country is closing the border, not opening it up.
loyalty to the country
is safeguarding
defending
Medicare
and supporting
for
the
American
Constitution of the United
citizens,
States.
not
It's not that fucking hard,
to illegal
people.
aliens.
You make it hard. You make it fucking hard.
Loyalty is
not that fucking hard.
Lincoln Riley not inviting the illegal immigrant who killed her and took her life. Loyalty is protecting our children from fentanyl, not inviting the drug cartels to deal it in our playgrounds. Loyalty is serving in the United States Marine Corps, something I am proud of. Loyalty is taking a bullet for this country, something Donald J. Trump did. If Kamala Harris wants to see the face of disloyalty, she can look in the damn mirror.
Oh, the next video. Yeah. I don't see this energy at a, cackling dingus rally.
This is a great crowd. What? Kamala Harris. Let's keep on going.
No, he didn't like Trump, which is kind of why I think Trump picked him.
Illegal aliens who lied and claimed asylum in this country. That turns a blind eye to fraudsters who are destroying American jobs, union and non-union alike, and undercutting the wages of American workers. And I guarantee you, if the failed border czar becomes the president of the United States, she is going to give every single illegal immigrant the right to vote, going to destroy your nation.
She's already said
and
she
your
will.
say in your own country.
I think that's coming up too somewhere. I think she already said she wants to give them the right to vote. She also wants to give felons the right to vote from prison. Oh, you'll like this video because it's from New York. I think it's New York City or Chicago. One of the two, but one of the two idiots that fucking voted for the babbling fucking Alzheimer's patient.
Common Sense 101. I got your big reason why you better not vote for Kamala Harris. This X post made me so mad I almost threw the phone across the room. I need a goody powder because I have a headache. Why is it this illegal alien, this so-called migrant from Venezuela, left a receipt at the cash register in one of the New York City bodegas?
Oh, New York City.
I got the receipt.
I got it.
I'm going to show you the receipt. Actually, you know what? Let me just show you the receipt right now. I didn't know what her reaction was going to be, but I definitely pulled up the receipt. So this was the receipt, and this is what's going viral on the internet right now. It said, my friend was behind a Venezuelan woman in line at a store, and the woman left a receipt, which is not abnormal. People don't want to take their receipts. I don't always take my receipt with me either. Even when I go to the bank, I just give it back to the teller and say, hey, can you get rid of this for me? Look at this S right here. I can't get EBT and look at the cash balance. We'll let them tell us it's no help though. The cash balance, if you look at that right now, the cash balance, the EBT cash balance is $4,400. The food stamp balance is $13,000.
Yes, I know, because the only ID that is racist
on the Millionaire Morning Show
for voting
for over 2 years now.
However, it's going to upset you and Jimmy. I got my absentee ballot shit all set up. So,
debit cards,
fuck.
credit cards.
Hopefully, Trump
housing,
2024.
They give them school, they give them Medicare, they give them health care, they give them everything. And on top of that, they also stealing scooters and they door dashing, and so they compounding it. And so the American dream is very much alive for these migrants. And so I can understand why that woman was absolutely disgusted at what was going on. But I wasn't expecting her to hit me with the ooh-op shebang in the beginning, but let's dive into it.
Hold up. I'm going to tell you. Why is it that this heifer who has never put anything into this country, never worked in this country, never paid Social Security tax, never paid a property tax, never put into the IRS, never paid anything into anything, came here with her damn hand stuck out, came from country, wherever the hell you from?
They come to Brazil, too. Even Brazil is a better country. But they want socialism in the United States. Think about that. They want what Venezuela has in your country.
Getting fleeced by Russia and bringing Paul Whelan and Evan home. Then you can start getting back to the brass tacks of understanding exactly how these people are helping you, or are they helping everybody else around you? And what's the real agenda? Because nobody is asking an uncomfortable question. And then I see y'all in my comments and y'all want to go back and forth with me and say, oh, Anton, you must be. No. I am Anton from Anton Daniels first. And in order for me to do that, I got to be America first. I got to be America first. I don't want my tax dollars going over into illegal immigration, and they asking the federal government. So don't think that just because it's happening in Chicago and New York and Denver and all of these
definitely
places,
going to do it.
All of these money to this migrants, that it's not your
Will
tax
it get
dollars.
caught,
Also,
counted?
you don't live
Don't
in these
know.
places.
Will it get
this
switched?
is coming straight from the
I don't
top,
know.
big dog. It's coming straight from the top. And they let all of these people in, and we don't want to put it at the feet of the person that y'all think y'all want to vote for because you're ignoring it in order to be able to ride out with identity politics. I'm going to let her rock. I'm going to absolutely let her rock and get her rocks off.
This individual left the receipt where she had just bought some food at the bodega. Okay? Her food stamp balance.
Get it off, mama.
Let me make sure I'm getting this right. On her EBT card, her taxpayer funded EBT card, her food stamp balance is $13,401.82.
Bang.
for
That's
1
more
month.
than I make with the even with the conversion rate between dollars and reals.
Who y'all voting for?
Okay.
Sure as hell ain't gonna be that
when you use
black.
your EBT card, it leaves a record of the balance
How much
after
you got left?
you've gone to the store and spent it, whatever. But
I didn't even know that until I actually seen this post. But let's rock.
somehow this was literally never, and yeah, I said it, I'm going to say it again. This who has never paid anything into the system is somehow
this
worthy
video? Yeah.
to get
I'll message it to you.
$1.82.
Welcome to America.
Cash balance is $4,498.85.
That's more than I make in a month, and I'm a retired veteran.
She's stressing out. Don't stress out,
I
Mama.
really do need a goodie powder.
What is a goodie powder?
That's just one. That's one of them.
Don't get me wrong, I don't hate Venezuelans, but fix your own fucking country. Get rid of communism, you fucking idiots.
And they literally cutting.
And I say to Brazilians the same thing all the time.
Not hiring no more police officers.
Works good for me that they're so stupid.
And I know because
my dollar goes up, even though our government is retarded.
Why are you so passionate about making sure that people become informed voters of whether or not you really want to vote for the woman that is supposed to be overseeing and participating in what's happening at the borders? Of course I'm going to be passionate about it because it's our money. You should, listen, I'm not even a blackity black, meaning that I don't even stand on a whole you should be doing things just because you black or aligning with people just because you black. But I know a lot of y'all been asking for reparations. I would rather you get reparations than somebody that has never paid taxes in this country in their life.
I'd love
Not
reparations
saying that I think that
too,
anybody
but
should or shouldn't get reparations because that's not my fight. But I would rather you get it than they get it. At least you American. At least you a citizen. At least you work. At least you pay your taxes. At least you down for whatever it is that happens inside of the United States of America. If it was ever a draft, you the one that's going to be out there fighting for us country. Why shouldn't you get it over them at least? And then they got the nerve to sit there in your face and say, well, I'm not ever going to specifically do anything for you. You ain't got to say nothing. You doing it for everybody else.
Roaming around. Why does she have $13,000 in food stamps?
It's a good question, Mama.
I'm mystified. I mean,
you voted for it. That's why she has $13,000 in food stamps. You voted for it. Fucking suck it up. And fucking live with it.
$200 a month in food stamps.
And unemployment is going up.
And they fought in wars to
jobs is laying off. Nationwide just did a mass layoff today.
I bet you voted Democrat, so you can suck my dick. I don't care.
You're gonna have
and
to
they don't get $4,498 a month in cash.
No, we don't.
I'm looking at it. Just I can't even.
If I didn't live in Brazil,
well, believe it, Mama.
I couldn't fucking
and I'm
live.
gonna definitely link back to her profile in order for y'all to be able to follow her if y'all want to check out her content, because I always like to support the content creators. But I'm trying to tell you guys that it is rough.
People are waking the fuck up.
And you are being disrespected to your face. They will parade out in front of you and entertain her, but they will not give you any answers or help you to understand why they are supposed to help you, yet they giving all of your money away, your tax dollars away. And listen, it ain't even light like that. It ain't light like the amount of money that they giving them. These cities are going broke. They're operating at a deficit. They have 2,000 police officers on a shortage in Chicago and even more over in New York. It's crazy. It's insane.
Fuck
I don't
reparations.
think that
I think he was trying just to avoid, because I know this guy's channel. He's against reparations, but he's...
I'm curious as to what y'all think. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Also, T Hanley, 40%
I don't know
off
anybody's
shit. 20% off of life. At least we can hopefully get you some bags.
Unless there's somebody out there I punched in the face,
because we got a live stream this weekend with Stock. Hopefully we can get you a bag, because it's absolutely, positively disrespectful. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, and make sure y'all jump in the after hours.
So I haven't seen one loony leftist. I invited TT, by the way. He's not over here. I would love to see TT. Like, come come up with one of his comments. He doesn't ever comment on mine, by the way. He only goes to Grumpy because you work and you don't have time to do the research. He doesn't even go over on to, I actually think maybe you have a stalker. I think. Maybe you might want to get some additional security because he may like your body. But yeah, I make thanks to inflation, thanks Biden, I got a fucking raise because I have a broken neck, so from Iraq, so I get Social Security disability, which sucks because right now my neck feels like someone fucking punched me in it. But I only make 13. In Brazil, I make about 10,000, the equivalent of $10,000. In America, I couldn't fucking, I'd be living on ramen noodles and on the street. And actually, to be honest, if I had to do that, fentanyl wouldn't look that bad, would it? Yeah. Anyway, here's another word from our sponsor while I fill my glass again.
Shooting skills have gone downhill worldwide. Period. The guns are getting better, but the folk behind them are getting worse. Much worse. You can have the best rifle in the world, but if you don't know how to shoot it, what's the point? This book shows you the science and the art of long-range shooting. Yes, it is a combination of the two. From body mechanics to something as simple as eye relief. Everything could matter when it comes to those long shots. This book tries to explain them all and prepare you for those long shots. This book is a must-read for beginners, experienced shooters, rifle collectors, gunsmiths, tactical research organizations. This book contains sections on safety, zeroing your scope, steady firing positions, types of firing positions, field expedient supports, using the mil-reticle, minute of angle, reading and compensating for the wind, shooting at angles, the range card, mil-ranging, ballistics, moving targets, computing lead, aiming and sight alignment, and range conversion formulas.
Oh yeah, Grumpy. Yeah, he'll never respond to me either. Well, he did for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 posts, 2 videos ago, and now he doesn't anymore because he tries to skip over it and go right to you because you work and don't have time to do the research. I don't, and I do have time to do the research, and I just make him look monumentally stupid. That's the loony left. It always will be. Ronnie is no different. He has not posted, none of them will post a link to anything. They'll just babble. Well, in my first, maybe if you babble harder, it'll be true. And then they tried to babble harder, and it's still not true. So.
Hate him if you want, but I agree with this guy. Trump spoke the truth. Just saying.
That motherfucker Trump is a monster. He said the quiet part out loud, which is the truth. Boy, I'm over here rolling. I've been laughing my black ass off all day long. When this motherfucker said she was an Indian and now she's black. And a few years ago, somebody need to look into that. Listen, that's the goddamn truth. Bitch, you not black. You pandering to the black community. You Asian and Indian.
It's called a populist bomb.
Like everybody's saying. Nah, yeah, they Asian and the Indian. Boy, Trump got me rolling over here. He telling the truth. And just like the black community, they don't want to hear the truth. Kamala Harris ain't nothing but a puppet and a fraud.
Exactly. And she's going to play that race car. Do I still have it? Oh, yeah. For 4 fucking months. This is, I think I played it earlier. I'm going to play it again so everybody gets it into their head to get used to hearing it. But this is all you're going to hear for 4 months. Well, that and she's a woman. But I didn't have one for she's a woman. Because the loony left can't, well, wait a minute. The loony left, all of a sudden, know what a fuck, I'm with her. Now you know what a woman is? What the fuck?
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety black, blacker than black, I'm blacker than black, yo, because I'm black and I'm black. Yo, I'm black and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all.
That's your next 4 months. It's not going to be the border. It's not going to be policy. It's not going to be the economy, because all that shit sucks. It's going to be her gender, her race, her... Definitely not going to mention... Remember, this is a woman who is the runner-up to a guy with fucking Alzheimer's. So, now, let's... Another tactic of the loony left is to try to tie Trump to Project 2025, which I haven't read, nor do I care to, because it has nothing to do with Trump. As a matter of fact, it's a Heritage Project editorial is what it is. And they're trying to tie it to Trump. I'm still getting shit from idiots on Facebook that I sent this link to. Come over. I should just type in come over and fucking speak your piece or shut the fuck up. But anyway, they keep trying to tie Trump to some Project 2020, which I haven't. I know it's a Heritage Foundation editorial or some article or something, but other than that, they're trying to tie it to him because I don't know.
Like some on the right, severe right, came up with this Project 25, and I don't even know. I mean, some of them I know who they are, but they're very, very conservative, just like you have. They're sort of the opposite of the radical left, okay? You have the radical left, and you have the radical right, and they come up with this, I don't know what the hell it is, it's Project 25. He's involved in Project, and then they read some of the things, and they are extreme. I mean, they're seriously extreme. But I don't know anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it. But what they do is misinformation and disinformation, and they keep saying, he's a threat to democracy. I'm saying, what the hell did I do for democracy? Last week I took a bullet for democracy.
We're not a democracy, we're a republic. We're a representative republic. I kind of wish even he would stop saying it. Like at state level, we are a democracy because we still go by the majority vote, or New York would be in the shit show it is. I actually wish we had the electoral college at state level, but we don't. Or New York City would not elect your fucking governor. But yeah, they keep trying to tie him to the Project 2025. It's another attempt to 3 months. Well, she's not going to get smarter in 3 months. Then again, neither is the loony left. The same people who cannot tell you what gender they are by looking down their fucking shorts. Anyway, this is for you Second Amendment. Of course, you live in New York there, Grumpy, so you don't have a Second Amendment, I guess, according to your governor, whatever. But Kamala Harris, in her first presidential run. I don't think her opinion has changed, but I'm trying to figure out what the fuck she's going to do in 100 days if Congress doesn't pass gun legislation. Is she going to become a dictator?
As a future educator, I'm really bothered that public schools are being targets for mass shootings.
Well, then stop making
2 days
public
ago was the
schools
20th anniversary of the Columbine
normalize mental
massacre,
illness.
but still 2 decades later, no major gun control legislation has been passed.
Yeah.
So my question is, as president, how will you go about keeping our schools safe and keeping guns out of the hands of those who should not have them?
Thank you, Ben. And I'm sure that there are plenty of students here who, while you were in high school, even middle school, that you had to participate in a drill, right? Where you were convened and your teachers taught you about how you need to go and run in a closet because there may be a mass shooter roaming the hallways.
You people actually
And
propagate
in our
mental
America,
illness.
that should never have to happen. Conversations take place every night. Conversations take place every night between students and their parents. Why do these things have to happen? Why do we have to have a drill like that? To which, of course, the response is because there are people in Washington, D.C., supposed leaders, who have failed to have the courage to reject a false choice, which suggests you're either in favor of the Second Amendment or you want to take everyone's guns away. Supposed leaders in Washington, D.C., who have failed to have the courage to recognize, you know what, you want to go hunting, that's fine. But we need reasonable gun safety laws in this country, starting with universal background checks.
The Second Amendment has nothing about hunting.
But they have failed.
It has to do with assholes like you.
So Ben, here's my response to you. Upon being elected, I will give the United States Congress 100 days to get their act together and have the courage to pass reasonable gun safety laws. And if they fail to do it, then I will take executive action. And specifically what I will do is put in place a requirement that for anyone who sells more than 5 guns a year, they are required to do background checks when they sell those guns.
It's 3 guns a month now.
That for any gun dealer that breaks the law, the ATF take their license. And by the way, ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. Well, the ATF has been doing a lot of the A and the T, but not much of the F. And we need to fix that. And then...
Yeah, like, you know, when Hunter lied on his firearms
the third
form.
piece, because none of us have been sleeping over the last 2 years, part of what has happened under the current administration is they took fugitives off the list of prohibited people. I put them back on the list, meaning that fugitives from justice should not be able to purchase a handgun or any kind of weapon. So that's what I do.
Would this be your first executive action
Most
as president?
fugitives are felons, so
Well,
they're
it
already
depends on
off
what
the
else
list.
happens. That would be
Depends on
after
what the
100 days.
Congress-
That'd be after 100 days. Let's see what happens in the first 100
All right.
days.
Fair enough. Angela Garrazzo is here, and she is a freshman at St. Anselm College studying international relations. She is
Exactly,
from
Grumpy.
New Hampshire.
They're making
Angela?
shit up.
Good
Well,
evening, Senator.
they
My
made the
question
problem, and
is,
now
as
they
a college
want the
student
government
with
to
over
take care of the problem.
$25,000 of debt in my first year alone, what will you do to alleviate the financial burdens of the student debt crisis?
Yeah.
Do you support initiatives such as free college, loan protective legislation?
Here's
or
where she
student
goes
repayment
full
plans?
communist.
Yeah, Angela, and you know, listen, the students in New Hampshire are among the top 5 in the country with student loan debt. And it is absolutely unconscionable.
How many plumbers
that we
out
have
there,
students in
electricians
America
have student
who are
debt?
in absolute fear about the debt that they will owe upon graduation. And I have met and know so many students who are making decisions about their career based on their fear that they may not be able to pay their bills. I know so many students who have graduated who are making decisions about whether or not to have a family based on the burden of their student loan debt and being concerned about whether they're going to actually be able to get through the month. We cannot afford to have a system like this, especially for young people who have made an investment of their time and their resources because they actually want an education to live a productive life and contribute to our society and be leaders. So here's what I would do specifically. I do support debt-free college. I also believe that what we need to do is we need to allow students to refinance your student loan debt. And in particular, I am supporting an initiative that would allow you to refinance your student loan debt such that it would be on par with the federal lending amounts. So for example, if you, probably none of you here, but any of your older brothers and sisters, if you took out student loans between the years of about 2006 through 2013, the interest rate was about 7%. What I am proposing is, regardless of the interest rate at the time that you took out your student loans, that upon repayment, it would have to be at 3.5%. The other thing is this. Part of the issue is in terms of repayment, there is no connection between what you owe and your income. So what I would be requiring is that there be a robust process by which income-based repayment would be the norm. And finally, let's look at the fact that for all of you and anybody who has applied for financial aid, that is an awful process. You guys know what I'm talking about. All those pages, you can barely get through that form. And so part of what we need to do is simplify that process. But we have got to do a better job in this country because, I look at something like, for example, teachers. I've been spending a lot of time, I think a lot about education in terms of every aspect of it, from student loans to what we need to do to pay our teachers their value. And the number of teachers who have left the profession of teaching.
I don't remember. I've never heard an electrician or a plumber complain about not being able to pay their student debt.
Of teachers based on the number of students that we need to actually teach and the few teachers.
Then again, if you really want a free education,
so it's a big issue. And
the military will pay for it up to a bachelor's degree.
Teachers can't pay their loans. Elizabeth Warren is here, as you know. She said that she supports student loan forgiveness for 42 million Americans.
Didn't Warren lie about her nationality?
Well, I support anything that is about reducing the debt of student loans, and I think that's an important conversation to have.
Okay, fair enough. Let's move on now. Ryan Wilson is here. Ryan is a sophomore at Harvard studying neuroscience in California and a supporter of Julian Castro. Oh. Ryan.
Hi. Good evening, Senator Harris. My name is Ryan.
A communist.
I'm a constituent of yours.
Okay, got it.
California. In a January town hall, when asked about your approach to universal health care, you acknowledged that you'd support eliminating private insurers in favor of a single-payer health insurance program. How do you respond to the 74% of Americans who wish to have the option to keep their private insurers?
Well,
what's your degree in?
I support Medicare for all. And I support it for a number of reasons that include the fact that there are a lot of people in our country who simply do not have access to health care because they cannot afford it. And that's unconscionable. And I actually believe it's a moral issue. And it is a sign of whether or not we are going to be a civil society to determine
she's
are
going
people
full
going to have
communist
access to
now.
health care simply because they can afford it, when in fact that should be a right and not a privilege of the few who can afford it. That is the value with which I bring
communism
to this discussion. I will also say this on the issue of this whole dynamic about access to private insurance. Yeah, of course, private insurance, you can get supplemental insurance and all of that. But let's not be duped by a messaging campaign that has been waged for years by the insurance companies to have you into believing that you need to defend them. You need to defend yourself. Do you know what?
She's talking to Americans who've never traveled.
Are in Medicare.
America has the best health care in the
So the suggestion they're
world.
trying to make to you is really a false one. You will be able to have your doctor. 91% of them are in the Medicare system. And I'll tell you another thing, and it's a personal story.
And if they're paid by the government, they'll get paid
mother,
shit and won't give a fuck.
Who, my mother was all of 5 feet tall. If you ever met her, you would think
I
she
live
was
it.
7 feet tall. She was an incredible woman. She had 2 goals in her life. She was a breast cancer researcher. Her goal was to end breast cancer and to raise her 2 daughters. Well, she got cancer. And she ultimately passed away from cancer. But if you have ever had the unfortunate experience of going through the healthcare system with someone who has an acute illness, I'm going to tell you what that is. It is having a doctor say to you, have you heard of the term anticipatory grief? Which you hadn't heard before, but when you hear it, it makes perfect sense, which means you're starting already to grieve the loss of someone that is still around. You have the experience of going in and out of hospitals, helping someone who is frail and weak, in and out of cars to get into a hospital. You look at medical charts, and sometimes the medicine jives, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes people are paying attention to this is the medication that causes drowsiness they don't want or pain that they can't bear. You go through the process of worrying about, is there something I can cook that will make you be able to eat and hold down? You go through the process of being concerned that somebody who is on chemotherapy, are there clothes? Can I get you something that's soft enough that you can wear that will not irritate your skin? Now, thankfully, our mother had Medicare. But for people who are going through this process, which they are every day in America,
exactly, but the communists
for them
don't understand
to also
that.
have to be concerned about how
they
they're
also
going
don't
to
believe
pay
she's a
that bill
communist.
is
You need to share this video.
And that's
as
how
much
I
as you
feel
can.
about this subject.
But then again, the loony leftists are
should
probably
not
there's a
be the
loony
barrier
leftist right now jerking off to this
receiving
video
the
somewhere.
care that will relieve you of pain or help improve your quality of life. And we've got to get this right.
Yeah.
So if there's any doubt she's a fucking communist, please show me where there's a doubt. Yeah, that's what. But if you didn't get health care, you'd get fined. Remember that, right? I'm still paying for health care in America, even though I don't live there, because I'm an American citizen. They take it out of my disability because I'm still an American citizen, and by law, I still have to fucking pay it. Why? I have universal health care. By the way, I live in a country with universal health care. If you want it, come see me. I will kick you in the balls, and then 3 months after I'm done kicking you in the balls and giving you a fucking hernia, you may get seen for that fucking hernia. Okay? So, come see me, you loony leftist cocks. Okay? If you really want what I have, except for my wife's ass, you can't have that. It's gorgeous. But if you want the life I have, yes, your money's going to be worthless, because right now the dollar is like $5.60 something, because they elected a communist president here, which you're about to do too if you vote for this fucking cackling dingus. I don't call it, she's the cackling dingus. You're going to have the same results, you idiots. So go ahead and do it. I don't fucking care. I'm going to share this on my No to the Cackling Dingus too, so they can understand. Well, the loony left want communism, we want the owners to own the means of production. That would mean the government, dumbass. That means a majority of people are going to vote for the government to have the means of production. That's what communism is, you fucking morons. But more from our fucking sponsor, me, a fucking capitalist who's trying to sell some fucking books.
Resultado de 40 anos de treinamento e experiência, o treinamento tático com armas de fogo foi escrito para atender às necessidades do proprietário da arma, do atirador experiente, daqueles que possuem uma arma estritamente para caça e autodefesa e para o militar que deseja se tornar um atirador melhor em defesa de nosso país. É também para o policial que arrisca sua vida contra os bandidos de nossa sociedade e para qualquer pessoa interessada em aprender as técnicas de treinamento defensivo e tático de alguns dos melhores e mais experientes atiradores do mundo. Este manual de treinamento abrangente inclui capítulos sobre segurança, negociação, técnicas de força verbal, fundamentos em treinamento, exercícios de batalha, sistema de código de cores de Cooper de consciência mental, aspectos legais da legítima defesa, critérios de justificação, força letal, tiroteio de discriminação, balística, bio, ou como o corpo funciona durante um encontro de vida ou morte, incapacitar um agressor, velocidade, furtividade, seleção de armas de autodefesa, descarregando sua pistola, mau funcionamento das armas, Segurança de treinamento de simulação de força contra força. O traço de desenho em ângulo reto. Posições prontas para armas. Problemas com a recarga tática. Maior capacidade de sobrevivência em um tiroteio. Vários atacantes. Tiro noturna e em condições de pouca luz. Tiro com luz estáticas. Fundamentos do tiro a curta distância, arma longa. Tiro de perto. Fogo rápido. A técnica do Quick Draw Ground. Exercícios de tiro. Espingarda tática. Rompendo com a espingarda. As habilidades de tiro ensinadas neste livro têm ampla aplicação em contextos civis, policiais e militares. Criminosos comuns, terroristas, agressores, o inimigo e a ameaça, todos se verão desarmados diante de um atirador devidamente armado e treinado. Membros das Forças Armadas, agências governamentais e de aplicação da lei, bem como civis, descobrirão que os métodos de tiro a curta distância abordados neste livro podem fornecer uma vantagem decisiva.
If this next video doesn't make you want to throw up, you have a stronger stomach than I do. Exactly. It's America has the best. Well, based on where I live, I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want what you have. As a matter of fact, today my wife's boss just buried his mother. Why? Because their 23-year-old surgeon perforated her intestine during surgery because he was 23 and didn't have fucking experience, because it's government-run healthcare and they're just throwing doctors in there on a government salary, which is shit, to fill the gap. So, hey, looney leftist, hey, come on down. We may be able to weed you out just through the healthcare system. Now, this next one may make you want to vomit, because it kind of like I kind of threw up in my mouth a little bit. So yeah, fucking just. I love you. Just all I could picture was the cackling dingus like blowing Sniffy Joe, but Sniffy Joe likes him younger than I guess she's what, 60? So yeah, 60 probably, probably wouldn't like it because she's not his daughter. I actually titled this one "Holy Shit, I Want to Vomit" on the scene checklist here.
It is so good to hear our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the call, and we've been talking.
Who doesn't believe this is?
You guys heard it from Doug's voice.
AI.
We love Joe and Jill.
Because I've made
really
AI
do.
with Joe's
they truly
voice.
are like family to us, and we do. Everybody here does.
Oh no, it's not a cult at all.
I knew you were still there. You're not going anywhere, Joe.
I'm watching you, kid. I'm watching you, kid. I love you.
I love you, Joe. So hear me when I say.
Remember, those old guys like when you fondle the balls.
I know Donald Trump's type.
They like it. Successful. Yeah, I know. You've slept with successful and a lot of successful men to get where you are.
It is so good to hear our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the.
Yeah, she knows Donald Trump's type. If he wasn't running against her, she'd be trying to sleep with him to fucking, get somewhere. We know they're cackling dingus. We know. Oh, accomplishments. Now, everything that happened under Sniffy Joe's presidency, she now owns. Does she not? She owns it now. She's going to have to run on their record. So let's look at their record. their accomplishments. I can't read it because there's too much shit in the way. Hold on. Still can't read it. All right. You guys read it, and I can't tell. It was like what, 10 million illegals into the country. Record high gas prices in all 50 states. That's what you get when you shut off a pipeline. Release terrorists into the country. No doubt on that one. Ukraine, Russia war, because when they, Israel Hamas war, Biden gave $6 billion to Iran, and all of a sudden there's a fucking war. Do you think? Disaster withdrawal from Afghanistan. That's going to come up later. I'm going to show you the difference between a strong leader and a fucking idiot. Lied to the American public about Joe's decline. Fucking yeah, they were lying, but everybody could see it. So the loony left were lying to themselves. So that should tell you something about the loony left. Small business optimism index. It was actually at record highs when Trump was in office. Yeah. Consumers aren't buying it. Yeah. And this is Build Back Better. Well, I guess you can build back better once you bulldoze the old buildings. Yeah. Companies leaving California, but they're thinking about making the governor of California the vice presidential candidate. Yeah. Okay. What's this one? Hold on. I gotta look this studio mode. Oh, energy costs. Yeah, energy costs are up like 40%. So if you want to heat your house, which I don't have to, so I don't really care, but if you want to heat your house, I wouldn't elect this fucking cunt. Oh yeah, we're nowhere near the biggest polluters on the planet, but we're the ones paying for it. Let's think about the logic of this, though. Think about the loony left's logic. If you just pay more taxes, you can control the temperature on the entire fucking planet. Although the rich assholes are still buying fucking property on Martha's Vineyard, an island, while the sea is supposedly rising. Okay, I'll just leave that there and continue on. Oh, talking about private industry versus government under the Biden administration. Yeah, it would appear we pay our government way more than the private sector makes. And are they really doing anything for you? Really? Are they protecting your rights? And I guarantee you, none of those high 40 are military, because we pay our soldiers shit. Soldier! Oh, Build Back Better if it was a scented fucking candle. Fuck you all that voted for that prick. And personally, I hope there's a civil war so we can get you all weeded out. Hold on, let's play the Civil War anthem. looking for it. I have a lot of sound effects here, by the way, and I haven't used them in a long time. But I think we need a good enema in the United States. You know, with cartridge boxes, people that have the guts to do it. Oh, here we go. There we go. We need to get this kicked off.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. Weapons of Class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the purge. All other weapons are restricted. Government officials of ranking 10 have been granted immunity from the purge and shall not be harmed. Commencing at the siren, any and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 continuous hours. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. when the purge concludes. Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all.
You see, I'm of the opposite mentality. I think public officials level 10 or higher are the ones we should be hunting for. And then we hold a new election. That way they can't come back, right? You can't get better term limits than that. If you're fucking dead, you can't run for office again. I think we should make it level 10 officials and higher, fair game. Then automatic term limits. If you're dead, you can't run again. Although I guess there were a couple states where the other candidate was so bad that a dead person actually fucking won. Anyway, that was my idea. Actually, it wasn't Biden's migrant crisis because the cackling dingus was the border czar. So I would squarely place that on her shoulders, wouldn't you? I would, because that was supposed to be her fucking job. As far as I know, is her only fucking job. Yeah, bailing terrorists out of prison. Yeah, that was important. Oh, yeah, now they know what a woman is. Yeah, got it. And that's about what you're going to get at the debate, too. All you got to do is ask, what have you done? And you... Oh, yeah, that was Willie Brown's wife with 3 kids. Yeah. That's how she started her career. That's why her knees are probably pretty fucking rug burned. Yeah, he was a Marine and she was sucking dick at the time. I'm trying to figure out what this is. Let me see. Sheriff taxes. Yeah, the rich pay more tax. You didn't think you broke asses paid it? Well, like Grumpy pays more than I do, which he probably should. He makes more than I do. But, yeah. It should be proportional. And this is how you have your fucking record inflation. Let's print some money. Okay, a good idea. Yeah, put it out there. The party that told us that the wasn't stolen just stole the election from their own party. Just wanted to throw that one in there, just so people don't get fucking confused. And I'm still waiting for one. Nobody's giving me one. All I get is the but Trump card. But Trump, I don't give a fuck. I didn't ask about Trump. I asked about these 2 fucking douchebags. Waiting for one. And then there's the difference in prices from, Trump's era to Biden's era. Yeah. And let's see, inflation growing for market profits, low gas prices. Yeah, that was, I'm trying to figure out why they hate Trump. And I Maybe it's, I don't know. And we got the Ukrainian, which I have still waited for one loony leftist who supports Ukraine to call me and ask what they should pack since their National Guard accepts foreigners to go fight. Nobody's called me at all. So I guess they don't support Ukraine all that much, just with your money, not mine, not theirs. Let's see, yeah. Yeah, sending out money to everybody but American citizens and, the deficit, which is, by the way, we pay more in interest on our debt than we actually pay anything else, except maybe welfare. But it's not Trump. We're all good. It's not Trump. We're good. Let's see, pushing on man with this United States. Oh yeah, we're actually paying their pension system too, by the way. So your Social Security may go to shit, but theirs is all good. Oh yeah, Trump actually cut regulations. 2 for everyone, or was it 3 for everyone? I have that somewhere. I didn't put it in here because I didn't think it was important, because she's the cackling dingus. These are her accomplishments, as well as Biden's. But she was, yeah. You own this, bitch. You own it. There you go. More price increases. Cocoa, 340, which cocoa comes from South America. So maybe, alienating South America would not be a good idea, but he did it. They now belong to China. Household incomes down 2,300. Where'd you go, fucktards? Hey, keep voting that way, though. Maybe we can get it down to 2,300 more. And more price increases. There you go. Orange juice, $2.99 to $4.29. That's 40. Not quite 50%, so he hasn't doubled it yet. And if your fucking life is better, you're probably an illegal immigrant. And there we go with the number of, which they say under Biden, but she was the border czar. Remember that. So this is all on her. So keep playing. And this is how they got record job numbers. Yeah. And inflation, just another example of fucking inflation. And another example of them lying, which that's all they fucking do. Oh, another example of price increases. And what the fuck is this one? Border crossings. Yeah, Trump had it down to like a 30-year low. And then, yeah. And we would pay the highest taxes in the entire fucking world, industrialized world. Yeah. So elect a fucking communist and see what happens. But Trump, anybody else here tired of hearing that one? Yeah, Trump didn't do this mess for 3.5 fucking years. Sit down and shut up, stupid, and let the adults play. We'll see what happens. And the same people that say the economy is doing great are the same people who couldn't pay their own fucking student loans. And we pay more government employees under Democrats. Of course, we want to expand the government so they can control the means of production and distribution. That's called socialism. I believe this is where we pay more in interest on our debt. Hold on, let me look. Yes, we pay actually more interest on the debt than we actually pay the debt. So, yes. Actually, we pay more in welfare. Medicaid is just one part of welfare. In 2016 dollars, we pay $1.03 trillion in welfare benefits. So, means tested welfare benefits. So, maybe get rid of some fucking freeloaders and bring back the draft and, make some use of these fucking scumbags. Yeah, he did. Really? Actually got to 9.1%. That was the highest it got to. So this is kind of an outdated chart, but 9.1%. Yeah, these are their accomplishments. Look at them, and fucking keep voting the same way, assholes. Actually, I'm hoping it gets bad enough where we actually have to start eating people, because, well, some of you look kind of like what kind of, you go to the gym and shit, and yeah, some back straps, yeah, and some fucking barbecue sauce. However, I want to go to this and show you what strong leadership looks like versus the fucking retards you fucking loony leftist fucking elected. As a combat vet, I fucking hate you loony leftist for this very fucking reason. And if, like, the police ever take a day off, I will punch as many of you in the fucking head as I fucking can.
President Trump looked at the Taliban leader and said this: I want to leave Afghanistan, but it's going to be a conditions-based withdrawal. And translator translated. And he said, if you harm a hair on a single American, I'm going to kill you. And the translator goes, and Trump goes, tell him.
Translate. Yes.
Tell him what I said. Tell him what I said. Reached in his pocket, pulled out a satellite photo of the leader of the Taliban's home and handed it to him.
Shut up.
Got up and walked out the room.
Sure did.
Do you know for 18 months not a single American was killed in Afghanistan?
Sure did.
That's the definition of strength. That's what I'm talking about. And so you could imagine that kind of sentiment being around the world. If we have an embassy in another country, no one's going to touch it because they're going to be fearful that they'll get a Moab on their head. That's how President Trump rolls.
That's called a strong leader. Let me show you what a fucking weak leader, the results of electing a weak leader. And by the way, this same father, I think, I'm not sure if he was the one or one of the fathers, was arrested at the State of the Union. By the way, that father has every right to call that little prick out. By the way, if you look at if my son were a soldier and he came home and the president were looking at his watch, homie going to jail. Got news for you. And that senile old fuck would have got DDT'd on some fucking concrete. And probably a little more if I could have got it in before the Secret Service got to him. You fucking pricks elected it, so pray that the United States doesn't fall. Because I may come back just to kill a few of you. Just because I can. I'm really good at what I did. Matter of fact, they pay me not to do what I used to do. So, yeah. I would, if I were you, I would try to make the strongest country I can so you don't get fucking dead. That's what I would do. If I were a loony leftist right now, I'd be going, a lot of people don't like me. We probably need more police and we need stronger laws because a lot of people are going to fuck me up if this shit fucking goes the way I'm trying to make it. They're going to fucking hurt me. That would be the logic I would have in my head. But you people are fucking retarded. And you need to go away. And again, I say what you need to hear. I I say what needs to be said, not what you want to hear. I'm actually hoping it fails, so we can give the old country a good old-fashioned enema. That would mean if you don't know your gender, well, when we bury you, just let us know what you want on your headstone. Or don't. I don't give a fuck. Stop grooming kids, you little perverts. But anyway, that was strength. Let me show you fucking what happens when you elect a fucking cowardly little fucking moron.
Thank you, Chairman McCall and other members of Congress who are respectful enough to be here today. My name is Mark Schmitz from Wentzville, Missouri. I'm the Gold Star father of Marine Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz, who was killed at the age of 20 at the Abbey Gate in Kabul, Afghanistan on August 26, 2021. I identify as a father, a husband, a pissed-off, fed-up American patriot, and now, thanks to this administration, a Gold Star dad, a title no one ever wants to have. From the age of 3, Jared has always dreamed of being a Marine. Once he made it into his sophomore year of high school, he was hard set on becoming a Marine, his next move after graduation. Little did he know, or I know, that would end up being his final major decision in his life. 2021 rolls around quickly. He says he's getting to come home to see us and his brothers and sisters because he's finally getting to go home on his first deployment to Jordan. I could see the excitement and nerves in his eyes, similar to when he left for boot camp. The unknown could always be a scary thing, but the thrill to see the world also drove the excitement. He felt like he was finally getting the chance to make a difference. He felt by becoming a Marine, he would make that difference a reality. To know Jared meant you knew he always looked out for the little guy. He was the type of young man who looked out for everyone, especially those not capable of looking out for themselves. While in Jordan, he trained with his fellow Marines as they honed their skills to perfection. He earned the right to shoot and train with the designated marksman, so I again reminded him of the opportunity that he could be a sniper someday. He says, "Nah, Dad, too much math." Little did we know at that time that a sniper of all people would be the first and biggest asset that we would meet later on, named Tyler Vargas Andrews. Thank you again, sir, for being here. Jared reached out to me in mid-August and said they were sending him somewhere he couldn't talk about. I knew it had to be Afghanistan. We followed the news back home about what was going on and knew that had to be the place. Ever since Biden decided to ignore all reliable intelligence from his top advisors and close Bagram Air Force Base, in July 1st, 2021, which directly and immediately led to the Taliban's taking back most of Afghanistan that our warriors previous had fought so hard to control. We knew somehow Jared and his Marine brothers would end up there having to help clean up this mess that never should have been created in the first place. After landing in Afghanistan, a few days went by before I heard from him. When he finally had a chance to call, he told me he was at the Abbey Gate. He said he thought he was going to die there those first couple of days due to the absolute chaos. He said, "Dad, the look on these people's faces was that of utter human desperation, and there's no way that we can save them all." He said he was exhausted and needed to get some rest before going back on the post. He told me they were shifting his post and he would be heading out on the airstrip. That never happened. The next day, the explosion happened. The next day, my son was gone forever. Fortunately, I was able to tell him I loved him one last time. Jared would have made a wonderful husband, a father. He wanted to go into law enforcement after the Marine Corps, but changed his mind after seeing how our police have been being treated the first year of Biden's administration. He had mentioned taking over the family business someday, and that couldn't have made me happier. All these things have been stripped from us now, and none of them will happen. He will never have the sun shine on his face again.
I blame all you looney leftists for this shit.
A maioria das pessoas que viraram ex-diabéticas
deixaram de comer essa fruta inocente comum.
You elected the fucking idiot.
You
You're
will
as
never have the chance to
responsible
get
as
married.
as
He will
Biden.
never experience the joy of being a father, and he would have been one hell of a dad. We will never meet our grandkids. Our family name died that day.
18 months, no casualties.
2 years has gone
Elect
by,
a
and where are
fucking
we?
idiot. This is what happens.
To be frank, we're knee-deep in bullshit, is where we are. Everyone who held a key position in the military still has that position or has been promoted. John Kirby still sits on his perch, which apparently faces the opposite direction from where all the action was. Blinken continues to delay key evidence by ignoring delaying subpoenas. Not a single general slapped down their stars, which should have happened 2 years ago when Biden ignored his reliable intelligence. Not a single person has been held accountable. Our so-called leader can't seem to even utter their names in public, not even once. Mr. Biden has run his entire political campaign for 50 years as the family man. Well, I've got news for you, sir. The curtain has been lifting, and that campaign slogan will never work again. We have seen what's going on in your family, and even worse, we've seen how you've been treating us as Gold Star families. And there couldn't be anything more disgusting and cowardly than the way you have treated us. You are a disgrace to this nation. You have no business having ultimate command over our military, and I regret not saying that to your face when I had the opportunity in Dover. I felt it more important to bite my tongue, but I also had more important things on my mind at that time, like receiving my son's lifeless body stateside. While I stood there on the tarmac, watching you check your watch over and over again, all I wanted to do was shout out, "It's 2:30, asshole." But out of respect to the other grieving families, I bit my tongue once again. Well, as you could probably tell by now, I'm done biting my tongue. You, sir, stole their lives, their futures, their dreams, and have ripped apart 13 families. You cannot even man up and admit that. You, sir, gave us all the title Gold Star family. You, sir, discredit honor and integrity. 2 years later, there are things I find myself thinking about. Where and what was Biden's logic sneaking out of Bagram in the middle of the night before ever getting a single Afghan partner or American civilian out?
By the way, there are still Americans left there, whether you
intentional
fucking know it or
negligence.
not.
This is just one of many irresponsible and negligent decisions coming from the White House. In addition, leaving behind billions of dollars of our finest military hardware has led to the biggest international free black
$85
market
billion.
free market in history. Unfortunately, this
So
will
China
undoubtedly
now
lead
has
to
our
more
communications
American
equipment.
military lives lost in the future. Between what has been happening
Way to
here
vote, you
domestically,
fucking
for example,
retards.
the border over the last 2.5 years, and all your failed foreign policy decisions, I would venture a guess that you have more American blood on your hands, Mr. Biden, than any president in U.S. history. While in Florida, I was approached by a CIA operative who connected me with several more operatives on a secure phone call. I was told if the Pentagon, DOD, and state tries to tell you that they had no idea Afghanistan would collapse so fast after a withdrawal, they are completely and utterly full of shit. They kept telling me to follow Bagram, so I did, and so I have. Closing Bagram was the sole responsibility of Joe Biden. It was also the lead domino which led to the demise of all of Afghanistan. Its women, its children, 170 Afghans, 13 American servicemen, and for what? Intelligence given to Joe demonstrated Bagram, hands down, was the most effective and secure place to undertake a mass evacuation. But you chose to ignore all of that. Instead, you chose HKIA, a public airport surrounded by a chain link fence in an urban environment without even a usable air traffic control tower. One thing I do know, though, Mr. President, China certainly is enjoying our fortress known as Bagram now. I'm often asked what accountability looks like. Simply put, what is most important to me is that the history books are written accurately and honestly and truthfully. about what happened to our fallen 13, the fall of Kabul, and for the truth to be told about those who failed to perform their duties should be identified and should be held appropriately accountable. Lastly, I have prepared a short list of answers I will not stop fighting for as a bare minimum for the unnecessary and avoidable sacrificial offering of our 13 brave children on August 26, 2021. I'm requesting that Chairman McCall of the Foreign Affairs Committee subpoena the Inspectors General Office to review the complaints that were filed prior to the bombing of Abbey Gate and why those complaints went disregarded and who failed to follow up on them. I'm requesting an investigation of President Joe Biden, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken as it pertains to Article 3, Sections 2 and 3 of the United States Constitution for their involvement in intentionally leaving Bagram and all of its assets by knowingly aiding known terrorists, all while abandoning U.S. civilians and allied partners. I'm requesting Chairman McCall to subpoena whoever has the stills and video footage from the Abbey Gate surveillance cameras, the sniper tower rifle scope SD cards, any drones that were flying that day, as well as all SD cards seized from cameras worn by our military on the ground that day at Abbey Gate, and any other surveillance equipment used, not already mentioned, so that the committee can see for themselves exactly what happened over there. And finally, answers to the questions from Tyler's entire testimony. Why did NCIS or FBI never interview him? He was easy to find at Walter Reed. How could you send Pentagon officials to Gold Star family living rooms to present your conclusive investigative reports? How could a thorough investigation possibly even exist when key witnesses to the events were never even interviewed, including not a single Afghan or the sniper who could have ended it all before it even started? How can it just be acceptable that our snipers cannot get an immediate and straight answer from their commanding officer at such a crucial moment? This bombing did not come out of thin air. We had intel. The bomber was in the area. Lieutenant Colonel Whitehead and generals on the ground were aware of this and did absolutely nothing to prepare our sniper teams, which relied on their leadership. In closing, Mr. Biden and Secretary Austin, Secretary Blinken, if trusting and supporting our military is too difficult for you, then I suggest you pack your shit and enjoy your retirement, because from where I sit on my perch, the noose around your double-down notion that this was an extraordinary success looks like it's tightening a little bit more each and every day. Thank you.
What's the difference between a politician and a flying pig? The letter F.
Oh, my turd challenge. I forgot this was here. Now it's going to be a Trump accomplishment.
Homeland Security. In September, Trump signed an executive order to enhance vetting capabilities and processes for detecting attempted entry into the United States by terrorists or other public security threats.
So that's the difference between a strong leader and a weak leader. Because a strong leader, 18 months, no casualties. A weak leader, 13 in one fucking day. And you, now I don't know if that father's going to say this, but I will. You looney leftists have as much blood on your hands as Sniffy Joe. And she owns it too, because she was in on it. Her party. So elect weak leaders, and guess what? The only downside, I wish they could, the terrorists and the murderers would only target people based on their voting record. That would be cool. Let them go. But they don't. We have to suffer along with you. Well, I don't, because I'll fucking kill you and kill them. I don't give a shit. Stay the fuck out of my zone. I live in Brazil, and violence here is every day, so. Well, not where I live, because I'm here. Weird. Everybody tells me Brazil's dangerous. Maybe it's just the way you all walk around, but anyway, that is tonight's podcast. It was a long one, It needed to be a long one because holy shit, you people are fucking worthless and stupid. And, yeah, you're for abortion, but they never abort the ones they need to. You know, the people that will elect the dumbest motherfuckers out of the herd. So, peace out, boa noite, see you next month. Well, I'll see you, I do another podcast called Sean from Brazil. Normally not political, but whatever. See you at the end of the month.